our models continue to show us some interesting things as we get into our Thursday. So, good Thursday afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. If you didn't already know, my name's Charlie, and we're going to be going over some interesting model data today. If you watched my video yesterday, you'll know that we had some very exciting things to go over. Crazy trends back to snow just out ahead of us here, just this Sunday, just this weekend. So we continue to have some interesting trends, but some things have changed that are very important that we need to watch. So I'm going to get into that here in a second. Like the video if you like it, subscribe if you haven't already, and comment down below what you'd like to see and where you're watching from. Video yesterday shocked me to get over 2,000 views. This is a new channel. I didn't see that coming, so I thank y'all for that. But with that many people watching that, it would really help me to know where y'all are watching from so that I can kind of tailor my forecast to focus on a certain area. If the majority are in the Southeast, I'll focus on the Southeast. I kind of assume that that's the case. But either way, I appreciate that. And so let's get into it again. We got some interesting things to go over. So we're going to start off here with the 12Z Euro from this morning. I'll let y'all see. I have some thoughts about this. So this is right off the bat here, kind of what we were talking about yesterday, that this little event for the Southern Appalachians has uptrended and continues to do so. More moisture associated with this initial wave early Saturday morning. I mean early by like midnight, wee hours of the morning. Some heavy snow could be falling across the Southern Appalachians and areas of Western North Carolina and eastern areas of Tennessee, maybe even into Georgia a little bit. But that's just the beginning. So this was an unfortunate thing to look at this morning. So this is the 12Z Euro. I'm going to show you the 6Z. You may remember from yesterday that I couldn't show you it. I did find a way to do that. So I'll show that to you in a second, so we can look at some history here. This is the 12Z, and this is 7 a.m. Sunday. And where's our snow at? This is a change. So we have snow down here along the Gulf coastline up into southern Georgia and southern areas of Alabama as well. And then a nose of moisture getting up there into the Carolinas that has some sleet and maybe some freezing rain associated with it, but not snow. Not that big snowstorm like that we were seeing. And we continue it on here a little bit further. Our moisture is here, but it's suppressed. So notice, even if it was raining, our moisture isn't inland in this area quite like it was yesterday. From any of the models, this is just the Euro, and we'll go over the others. But central areas of South Carolina completely get missed by this. And if anything, it's the coastal areas, but most areas are just snow and the moisture's suppressed, but there's still a lot of it here. Keep that in mind. So I won't sugarcoat it. It's a miss off the Euro from this morning. I'm going to show you, it's a different site. That's how I was able to do this. Shout out to Tropical Tidbits for that. So we're going to click through these. This is the 6Z Euro. This ran 6 hours before the thing I just showed you. And so let's look at what it does. There's some of that snow on Saturday. An initial wave of rain rolls through. Then we have this. There's 12Z, 7 a.m. Sunday, Eastern Time. So it's a little bit slower on this run of the Euro, but that's okay. Get into 15Z, this would be 10 a.m. or so. An area of snow, big area of snow, mainly in Georgia. Alabama doesn't get it. Florida doesn't get it. A little bit of the low country of South Carolina gets it. But it's not quite as large. And notice that, like, for example, the secondary circle I just drew is not, it's raining, there's precipitation, but it's not snow. So who knows with that? That's an interesting feature. but it's better. It's better than what I just showed you. And then we're having a warm nose issue here, where we have rain where it was snowing, and in the place of snow. So that's a difference from yesterday. But please do not see this in any of these areas that I was talking about yesterday and think, oh, well, we've gotten this now, it's over. Think about how fast it trended to do this. In about 18 hours, it trended that this event could happen. So the fact that it's been 18 to 24 hours more and it's trended in a different direction, it's not gone, guys. It's still here, but it's not quite as pretty as it was yesterday. You have some mixing issues. It's a little bit warmer. It's not those beautiful runs that we saw yesterday, and that's okay. These events like to trend to the northwest more last minute. So let's say you have an area of moisture along the coast being modeled. It might actually end up like here. So some areas are still included, but it reaches areas further to the north. For those of us along the I-85 corridor from Charlotte to Atlanta, we missed out on the blizzard last year. So for those of you who don't know, that's like right in here. We missed out. There was a big blizzard last year that went like this. That circle's not exact, but there were areas that got nearly a foot of snow down in the deep south. Like crazy amounts of snow down there. And we missed out up here in upstate South Carolina and northern Georgia. We got some, but it wasn't anything the same. So that can happen, but these events like to trend to the northwest as you get closer. So keep that in mind. Please keep that in mind. Do not look at this and say, not only is it over, but we never even had a chance. Just give it some time. This is 81 hours out. We have more than enough time to change this and have this trend in a different direction entirely. Now, I say it can trend away, and I mean it. We could wake up tomorrow. I could do a video just like this one. It's just about 2 o'clock, and we could be looking at absolutely nothing. And if that happens, we have to look at it and say, well, things like this happen, and you can't get too emotionally involved with these things because it's the weather. But we still have it, guys. Don't freak out about it. We still have it. So this is the 6Z. It's better, but a little bit warm. And then we'll go out. Yeah, so that's all we're gonna look at for that. What about the good old GFS? Threw us a bone here yesterday. If you didn't see it, got an insane amount of snow pretty much everywhere in here, and plus some back here. Everywhere got snow. Pretty much, I'll redo this because I want to get this right. If you didn't see the video, I highly recommend you go back and watch it just purely from this standpoint. It was like this. And the entire thing got like 2 to 6 inches of snow. Like a ridiculous run. A fantasy run. So this is the 12Z GFS. And let's get here. There's that front end precipitation band that could drop some heavy snow in the southern Appalachians, just like the Euro is showing. Just around midnight, just afterwards on Saturday. Let's see where we go afterwards. So the GFS is holding out hope here. Finally, we have something good. Unfortunately, it is the GFS, but still. We have a narrower, but still somewhat significant snow band on the northern and western axis of this precipitation. This right here is about 4 a.m. So on the GFS, it's a little bit faster. We get into 7 a.m. and central South Carolina, Columbia gets in on this a little bit, but you're close to just where it's just rain. Well, in the next frame, you get it. But areas like the Greenville-Spartanburg area where I live, we just get some light stuff. Nothing too major about it. We might see some flakes. Charlotte gets it just a little bit. Atlanta, close, very close. Area over towards like Florence and the low country of South Carolina get it on the later half, but you might start as rain. That can make for some interesting stuff. If it starts as rain and then freezes and then you get snow on it, it's interesting like that. And we have a band of snow intensifying as we get into about 10 a.m. Sunday, based off of the GFS. It's not a forecast. but we have a pretty heavy snow band up and down areas of the deep south here from the the Gulf coastline in Florida. Just areas way down here getting snow, all the way up through southern Georgia here, through central South Carolina, and into central and eastern North Carolina, getting in on this as well. And we move on, moves off, Outer Banks start to get some, but notice our coastal areas. You got hints of this at first, and now it's completely left you. You get whiffed with a bunch of cold rain. I mean, if this happens, I hate that for y'all, because y'all are the first ones who got it. When this first started to trend this way, what we had was our snow looked more like this. And so our coastal areas were going to get it good. And it's trended north, but it's also ticked back. I'm going to show you like the 6Z GFS. It's like I did with the Euro. And move this out here. So, like for example, this is a little bit different. It's similar. Timing is about the same, but our axis of snow is just ever so slightly more to the north and west. It's good to see this tick back to the southeast. I promise you, if you live here, and this circle I'm about to draw, let's say, that's a terrible color. Let's actually not do that. I'm gonna pick this. Let's say you live like in here. So if you look at the last several model runs from all guidance, this has been the general battleground between no precipitation at all, light snow, possibly heavy snow, and like I said at first, nothing at all. It's been the bigger thing. So if this starts to tick to the northwest a lot very quickly, we have enough time for the this is realistic, we have enough time for this to tick so far north that the axis of snow is over like Nashville and Chattanooga and northern areas of the deep south states, and like we in the Carolinas here in Georgia might get whiffed with some cold rain. We have time for that to happen. Genuinely we do. So we want this to kind of go back and forth and stay generally in the central areas of the Carolinas and Georgia as a middle ground, because we're under 100 hours, but we're over 80 hours, we're over 60 hours. So I like to really look at things once we get within 60 hours. So we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. That's all I'm going to say. But this was the 6Z. I'll just give you one more quick go through here of the 12. Snow there, a little bit lighter than the 6. Move this on out, and who knows what this thing is. But that's out in no man's land here. So then we have the Canadian. Yesterday the Canadian was really, really dry. So what does it do this time? So the Canadians finally got on board with our moisture here. Expansive band of moisture in general. Don't worry about the precipitation type. But notice that these blue and red dotted lines, where it turns to blue is essentially the freezing line miles above your head. So it's not directly the freezing line at the surface, but seeing these red lines get inland here is not good. We don't want that. That indicates that it's warming. And this is the Canadian. There's nothing too special or great about the Canadian, but still, it's different. But it finally has put some moisture on your stream here, which is great because it was just really dry. So it's gotten on board with the moisture, but now we're starting to worry about warming issues. So that's that. It's just a miss. Not even a little bit of snow, except for some higher elevation stuff in the southern Alps. And then who knows what else is out there. UK Met. This is the latest. Let's roll through it pretty quick here. So it's a mix. I think this is actually, I mean, it's the UK Met. It's nothing special. I think it's a good middle ground between what we all just looked at. We have plenty of moisture here, and we just have to work our cold air out. Notice I talked about a few videos back. You can follow these blue lines, and where the bottom of them is the axis. That means the axis is way back here. It's too far back. One thing I might pull up in a minute is our upper level like energy map, and I can show you some trends here. It has trended significantly west, not north really, just west. So that the axis of this trough here, the axis of this energy is further away, so it's warmer out ahead of it. And that's why we're seeing some of these unfortunate scenarios where it's just a cold rain. So we have to figure that out. But again, look at our hours here. 70 to 80 hours. We have time. We have time. So don't freak out yet. We're not quite there. So what I'm going to show you next, this is the RRFSA model. I might click through some other ones, but this is one of the only ones I know of that goes out long enough. That's our high resolution stuff. It's the same map, shows you rain and snow. And so our first area of energy gets out of the way here. And then what? Getting into Friday afternoon. Now we're getting into Saturday morning. There's that snow in the Southern Appalachians, but at a higher resolution look here. That makes its way through, and then what do we get? Let's get into about midnight. This is midnight Sunday. And we have right off the dot, look at all this moisture. It's not going to be all connected because this is higher resolution. This is realistic. We have a lot of moisture down here. None of it is snow yet. And see this upper level, that 540 line, that's 540 decameters or 5,400 kilometers. So that's what that is there. 5,400 meters, 5.4 kilometers. Can't get those right. Here we go. Let's get to 12Z. So right here, this is a very, very unfortunate scenario. Even though you see snow, our 540 line is back here. Look at how warm it is. I mean, this is just a shame. We have a lot of rain in these areas. This would make a lot of people mad. This is not necessarily going to make a lot of people happy. This is going to make a lot of people mad if they see something like this. And we continue this on. And like, for example, I know where I live specifically on this map. I do get a little snow, but it's mixed in with rain. Overall, this solution right here is too amped up. And what I mean by that is there's too much moisture, and it like essentially displaces the trough away. So what you end up getting is out ahead of it, and like in this black circle, there's no cold air involved. It's just raining. And then somewhere along the border, you have snow. Depending on this, in fact, let's just do it now and get it out of the way. Let's look at the snowfall based off of this. Just run it out to the end. For whatever reason, the internet's being a little slow today, but it's all right. Let's look at our snow here. So this is this is high resolution guidance. This is going to change and flip-flop all over the place. So don't take this as gospel. A lot of snow down here in the southern areas, but it's also nighttime at the time this is falling, or early morning, so the sun's not up yet. And then we have an area where it gains steam again. We have 5 to 6 inches across some of these areas in North Carolina. South Carolina, it gets entirely missed pretty much. This is high resolution guidance. The only reason I'm showing it to you is to start throwing out possible ideas here. Let me see. I don't know if we're gonna have a run of this. We should. We do not. Okay. I'm gonna click and use this one maybe? No. How about this one? We're just trying to find some other high resolution guidance here and see what we can find. None of these seem to be the right number of hours. This is interesting. Yeah, it's too close. There's that signal here. I'm gonna zoom in for some of that higher elevation stuff here. This could overperform in some regions of the Southern Appalachians here. This has been modeled well off the Euro and GFS, and now we're within short range model guidance time. So that's possible to see. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a decent amount of snow up there. None of the other short range models go out long enough, so I'm not gonna continue with those. So let's try to talk some sense into our temperatures here, because essentially, let me break this down for you in simple terms here. Yesterday we had an extreme uptick in moisture, and our cold air was the same. So we had these fantasy runs where we had many inches of snow in a lot of areas. Now what we're getting is moisture is similar. Moisture is going to fluctuate, but moisture is similar. But in the place of the moisture being similar, the temperatures are warming. So we have to figure that out, because that's going to be, I honestly think the only reason this event will fail is because it's too warm. I don't think it's because we're going to lose moisture, not anymore. But we're having some interesting signals here for it being just too warm. I said it in yesterday's video. There can be precipitation falling and it's 34 degrees. That's above freezing. And that's just these huge cotton ball snowflakes. And it's enjoyable. And it could be 35, 36 degrees and it's doing the same thing, and it's just these big wet raindrops. And that's its surface. It matters a lot what your surface temperature is. And now we're not going to look at the Euro ensemble to figure that out. We're too far out for that. What I want you to gain, this is a temperature anomaly. This is going to show above or below average temperatures, not the temperatures themselves. So this right here is 12Z. You can see the timestamp up here just above where the map is. So this is our temperature anomaly. I can look at the actual temperatures themselves being modeled here, but what I want you to note that's really important are mainly below average temperatures. Look at where they are. This is not great. We have these our below average temperatures that are really more significant are just back here, because this energy has shifted west. And then instead, out across our region here that we've been looking at, it's still below, but see how in some areas it's just neutral. That's a difference from yesterday. And we're going to see models flip here. I expect that. But this is the Euro ensemble. This is very reliable. Now, this is 18Z. Some of the reason that this is going to be lower is because it's daytime. So some of these will fluctuate a little bit. We still have well below average temperatures across all of our region here. So what this tells me is our energy is making its way through. By 18Z, that's going to be 1 p.m. or so on Sunday. What that tells me is that if these temperatures do finally catch up, we might get some backside snow, or the snow might really start, I'm going to draw in yellow, say like up here, as opposed to all down here as well. So that's not a forecast. I'm not forecasting that specifically, but that matched up decently well with our RRFSA, where we had, I'll draw on it again, we had like heavier snow down here, and we had heavier snow up here. So it falls down here as snow because it's nighttime and it's cooler anyway, and then our cold air finally catches up further to the north, so we snow up there. I promise you guys, as of right now, our moisture isn't the problem, it's our temperature, so we're going to have to watch it. I don't think that the Euro ensemble will show us any sort of... It will. Okay. Well, I might show you something else in the place of this, but either way. So this is an analysis. Let's get out ahead of us. So we get into our favorable time frame. This is exactly what I wanted it to show, so I could explain this to you guys. So this is 7 a.m. Sunday. What you're looking at here, the lines, that's a terrible color. It's literally the worst color I could pick. These lines here would indicate a trough. So you can see our trough here. That's our geopotential height, about 3 or 4 miles up. So you see it digging down here. The axis of our trough is right here on that line I just drew. Number one thing I'm gonna show or teach, depending on who you are, that is a neutral to slightly negative or positively tilted trough. If the line that you draw through your trough goes like that, so from northeast to southwest, that is positively tilted. If it goes straight up and down, that's neutral. And if it goes like this, where it's northwest to southeast, that is negative tilt. You want a neutral to negative tilt for the strongest storms, the most amplified and impactful storm system. That's what you really want. We have a slightly, not extreme, but a slightly positive tilt trough here. It's tilted a little bit from southwest to northeast, just a little bit. And the map you're actually looking at here, what it's being plotted is vorticity. So this is just a measure of rotational energy in the upper levels, and it's vertical. It's not helicity. So essentially, think about that's how do I explain? Like a tornado, a tube of air, like a tornado that's rotating like that. That's helicity. That's spinning around like this, right? If you were looking down. I can't draw it because this is 2D. It's hard to explain this, but vorticity is the opposite orientation. So think about, if you can see my hand, it's spinning around like this as opposed to like this. So what this is, and you need vorticity. That is energy in very simple terms. That gets clouds to form. That gets rain to fall from these clouds. There's a lot of upper air science that goes into this that I can't really explain well without drawing, and I would need 3D to really show it to you. All I want you to know from this is that, like, this right here is our main area of energy associated with this trough. That's the important detail here. And so this is 12Z. Two things of note. It is neutral to positively tilted. And look at where it is. If we draw where the highest values are, that's where they are. And then where's our area of interest? It's in here. So just because they're not overlapping does not mean that automatically in that pink circle it's going to be warm. And just like it doesn't mean it would be warm in this region over here. These pinks that I'm drawing don't indicate warmth. But in really simple terms, they also don't indicate that it's cooler, because this is associated with a shot of cold air. Cool to cold air. And it's back here further to the west. So I think on this site it will let me use these arrows. Yeah. So this right here is, I know I hate that these are flashbanging you. This was a run like 2 days ago. I'm just going to play these. See how it starts to move back to the west as I click through these? It's slight. It's not. But notice, let's say in this run right here, notice, see, that's where it was. Notice where it is here. It's over our area of interest. Our trough is more like this. And its axis is like right here, just at the entrance of our area of interest, and there's colors overspreading our area of interest. So we've had a trend here. This is the Euro ensemble. This is reliable. Back to where it looks like this. This is the most recent run we have. That ultimately, this is the stuff, this is the energy that drives these systems. And with it looking like this right now, with our energy further to the west, if it continues to trend west like it has been, we will see it warm up, and our solution will end up being more rain than snow in a lot of these areas we were talking about, unfortunately. Because I'm not rooting for that. I'm really not. I would love to see this entire circle get half a foot of snow. I would love that. That would be awesome. Because that includes me. Includes people I know. Includes my friends. I'd love that. They would too. And we've had some runs indicate that that's possible. But today, our trends today have been to a warmer scenario. So this right here, you guys know what this is probably by now if you've watched this channel before. This is it's the same height we were just looking at, 500 millibars, like 3 or 4 miles above your head. This is the anomaly of the height. So whether you have a general ridge, and ridges are denoted by these purples and reds and like pinks, salmon colors here. And then these blues indicate troughing, lower pressure, colder air, and just like the ridges have warmer air. So we're going to start this off here. This is the most recent run of the Euro ensemble that goes out long enough. Let's get into our time frame here. Same thing. It's smaller because I have a broader view. Our trough goes like this. You can see it here, denoted by these lines. And that means its axis is like back in here. It's too far away to be this highly impactful system like we were seeing yesterday. So we still have blues. It's not like we're having reds intrude, but they're not as strong. It really only gets stronger by 18Z. This would be 1 p.m. Just like we were looking at. It's possible that when we get to the later afternoon Sunday, we'll start to see snowfall again across areas further to the east and north, like eastern North Carolina and Virginia, as the cold air starts to catch up. That's possible. So we might have two areas here. We might have like the deep south near the Gulf Coast gets snow, and then like South Carolina gets mist, and then we have North Carolina and Virginia that get more. That's a possible solution. It's not a forecast, but it's possible. This is still favorable. I showed this to you guys yesterday. Not really sure what that's about. No, that's interesting. Either way, I showed it to you yesterday. It's mostly the same right now. Completely lost my flow there. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't really know what's wrong here. Might be an internet issue. I don't know if y'all know. You probably do. Verizon was having some interesting issues yesterday, so I don't know if that's come back or what that's about. But either way, point is the same. What we've trended towards is a little bit warmer overall scenario here, and that is okay. Don't worry about it too much yet. If we get to Saturday, for example, and we make a video Saturday afternoon and it still looks like this, that would be the time to say, okay, we're probably not going to get any snow, and we should give up the mental idea of it, because you'd be within 24 hours at that point. And if that's what happens, that's what happens. But ultimately, that is okay. We'll figure it out when we get there. The fact that we're seeing some warmer trends is not the end of the world. We have absolutely the time to trend back. So don't worry about it too much. But that's all I have for you today. Hopefully, we see some better trends by tomorrow when I make a video, probably about this time. Hopefully we do, and we might. So if we do, I'll show it to you. Yeah, see how this is not moving? That's interesting. Probably some sort of internet issue. I do live out here in the sticks, so we have internet problems sometimes, and it's not all that rare. So I will briefly, this right here is the blend of all models. And this is valid at 7 a.m. Sunday, so this does not take us through the full event. Notice where our footprint of snow is on this, though. It is not here. It is certainly not here. Notice where it is. It's a blend of all models. So it's essentially just a very big ensemble, if you really think about it. Look at our snow signal back down here into Louisiana, all the way up near Columbia, but not to it, and then there. So that's an entirely different look from all of these. And this is a very, very unfortunate color here. It doesn't change colors at all until you get to like 5 inches. I don't know why they would do that. But look at some of these amounts. That's half an inch where I live. We have various other amounts here, close to an inch. Some of these areas. So hope is not lost. It really isn't. I don't want you to think that. I don't think that. Not yet. It's not the time to panic and say that it's over. It's not. So yeah, that's actually all I have. Not faking it this time. That's all I have for you. Hope y'all have a good rest of your day, and I will see y'all in the next one, which will be tomorrow afternoon. Thanks for watching.